Hi, I'm Jennifer Barkett, and this is Jennifer Donison, and welcome to our second episode of Divorce Bites, or our second podcast, whatever you want to call it. Today's topic is called Divorce Mistakes. Anybody and everybody who's been through a divorce has made some sometimes serious and sometimes minor mistakes. So we're going to talk a little bit about those types of mistakes today. Um, I think the first thing that comes to my mind, Jennifer, is choosing the wrong lawyer.
Ah, yes.
And I'm not dissing anybody over this because most people, or a lot of people going through a divorce, um, they're not experienced in this. It's not their wheelhouse. So they're bound to make mistakes. And what sort of mistakes in choosing the wrong lawyer? Sometimes recommendations from family and friends. I like to explain everybody's divorce as a puzzle, and we all have a different puzzle, meaning made up of different components or different pieces. So, whereas person A may have a divorce where the issues are mostly financial issues, um, person B may have domestic violence or intimate partner violence as something that's really at the forefront. And the third person, there just may be young children. And how are we going to deal with the changes that are going to happen? So all divorces are different. And I think it's important for people to really interview lawyers, feel comfortable, ask them, have you ever had cases like this? What was your success? Um, so that you find somebody that's comfortable with you and that somebody that's comfortable with your situation.
Yes. On that note, I'll say that and let me know if you feel the same, but in my experience, I have seen many people choose the type of lawyer that has a very similar personality to themselves. So if they're a really aggressive person and they want this divorce to be over and they want to get what they want and they're angry and this and that, they will go for a very aggressive lawyer who has a reputation of a bulldog, and they will just go full force trying to get this other person to be threatened or feel scared or whatever the case may be, intimidated. Whereas if somebody is a little bit more soft spoken and, has maybe a history of giving into many things, they may pick somebody who's a little bit more, calm and easygoing. Not to say that both lawyers aren't equally as amazing. It's just the type of personality that people usually tend to go for. And I find that very interesting.
It is. I see that a lot too. And especially when I read the forums or the pages on Facebook and somebody recommend a family law lawyer, I'm looking for a bulldog. I'm looking
Yeah.
for somebody very aggressive. So the one little tip that I can give is maybe aggressive is not necessarily what you should be thinking about. Smart, experienced, settlement orientated. Why is that? Because aggressive can be I'm sending letter after letter or just lots of nonsense. And it's going to ring up the client's bill.
Yeah.
So you have to really be able to think of divorce as you're making business decisions, not emotional decisions. And the more emotion that goes into this, the worse it's going to be and the more expensive it's going to be.
Absolutely. And that's true. As soon as I hear that somebody's looking for a referral for a lawyer, I always say, listen, and especially on Facebook, there's lots of people that are like looking for a lawyer, any recommendations? I say, let's have a little bit of a conversation first so I can understand your situation. Because for me to just list out lawyers, how easy is that? There's so many good lawyers in Toronto. There's tons. But in order
Exactly.
to understand what that person is needing, their situation, how horrible their experience has been, it's really an important factor to refer to the appropriate counsel. So I think that's a really
Totally agree.
yeah.
I think another mistake that people make when it comes to dealing with their lawyers is expecting the lawyer to be a confidant, be a therapist.
Mhm.
Um, okay, but
Very
again,
expensive.
most lawyers are very, very expensive on their hourly rate. I think the cheapest I know in the city is maybe $300 an hour. And those hours add up. So you want it to be very well prepared
Yeah.
for your meeting with your lawyer with your questions. You don't want to be getting into all the emotional
Yes.
stuff.
Yeah.
Better off with a therapist, better off with a coach. That's going to be a lot less money.
Yeah.
Stick to your case.
Right. And you're right. I have a lot of clients that I'm coaching that we will prepare exactly what it is that they're going in to discuss with their lawyer. Because although they may feel very overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, they just did this to me last night. And can you believe that? And how dare they? They shouldn't have the children. They didn't bathe them in 2 days. And these are all very overwhelming things that people may feel and may feel very true to them. But their lawyer is going to say, oh, I'm sorry to hear that. And oh, yeah, that's awful. Because what are they going to do? That's not the law that they're going to have to, guide them one way or another. So we go through thorough questions that they should be asking their lawyers that are just pertaining to the law.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Other mistakes that people make, and this is a big one, airing their dirty laundry on social media.
Ah, my favorite. Yeah. Yeah.
Your ex has people watching you.
Yeah.
Your ex may be watching you. Just stop. Okay. Nothing on social media. It's out there forever. It's frowned upon and it can be harmful for your family law case.
Absolutely, it can. And even more importantly, it could be harmful for your children because children grow
Absolutely.
up, children have iPads and different things that they can see things. I mean, literally, my son came to me the other day and told me that he saw a YouTube post that I did years ago for a podcast. And I thought, oh my gosh, he found that. Like, so kids get smart and they do things that we won't expect in the moment, but it's out there, and you really don't want your children to see and hear some of the things that you are going to say out of an emotional, really low part of your life. It's just not going to be.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
Parents have to remember that their children are a part of both of them,
Hmm.
50% one parent, 50% the other parent. So, in a sense, when you're insulting the other parent, you're insulting part of your child.
Yeah, it hurts the child for sure. And I think that our next podcast, or one of the next podcasts that we cover, should be boundaries and things that
Hmm.
should be implemented into people who are either cohabitating or even when they're separated physically, how they should have these boundaries to make sure that they're going to stay on the right side of the street and keep it clean.
Good plan. I
Yeah.
think boundaries are very important.
So, once again, let us know if there's anything that you'd like to hear and any topics that you'd like us to cover. And we look forward to bringing you our next podcast next week.
Awesome. Happy holidays, everybody.